Hello and welcome to Creating Visual Presentations That Work. I'm Mark Allwell. We've all sat in conference rooms and meeting rooms, in classrooms, and had PowerPoints read to us. Read tons of lines, wasted lots of time because we didn't remember a darn thing that was presented to us. It was killing our time, killing our brains, and yes, killing us. But it wasn't the presenter's fault. They didn't know better. We didn't know better. We just accepted it as the status quo. And that's a common concept. Let me show you a quote by Dr. John Medina. Give you a second to look at it. Now, that might be for the corporate world, but changing a few words, it reigns true to our industry as well, educating children. Now, we obviously have respect for our children and we have respect for our pedagogy, but we have never been taught how to properly make visual presentations that help students understand concepts and help them recall the information being presented. It's not our fault. We were not taught how to do those things. My second year of teaching, I sure as heck did not know these things. So I created things like this, and I was giving tons of acknowledgement and tons of props for making materials such as this, because people did not know how to use PowerPoint were giving me praise. They had never been known how to use this. I was learning how to use this. I was looked at as being a genius, even though I created something that was, in my mind, atrocious. Now, obviously, I used a box template, which I should never do. Absolutism is the biggest word in blue up top, but it's repeated in the bottom again. Which one's more important, the one that's just the word or the one that has a definition? And how much text do I have? All these bullets. What was I, in a war zone? What was I doing? What was I thinking? All this text. How is somebody supposed to pay attention to this? Was a teenager going to pay attention to this? No, they're going to look everywhere else. Were they going to pay attention to me, the ones who were paying attention? No, they were not going to pay attention to a darn thing I said because they were reading all this text and looking at this bright white screen. They're not going to pay any attention to me. Now, today, we know better. Today, I know better. Today, I understand that if I want to captivate an audience, I cannot overwhelm them with text. I need to utilize pictures. I need to make sure that my words are used as visuals as well, where I'm attracting the information to the right place. Now, obviously, now I have absolutism twice here, but once the word is really small, once the word is large, bringing the attention to this here. Now, and I have a little outline of what I'm going to be saying. So the students with this contrasting background can now feel free to pay attention to me. The dark background blends into the screen and doesn't take away from me. This nice low fidelity image allows them to look at it. So even if they're not paying 100% attention, they'll get the main concepts from the text here. I did not understand this then, but I understand this now, and this is why I'm speaking with you. Additionally, I know now if I want to captivate an attention, I need to bring in graphics that students would like to see. Something that will explain to them visually what we're speaking about. A king with a crown underneath clouds with light coming down. Even if the word divine right of kings was not there, they would understand it's something about heaven and a king. And that my text, divine right of kings, good king is God's blessing, and bad king is God's punishment. They understand the concept. There's no need to go through all this text when we can explain it in a manner which the students can comprehend. Now, these visuals that are provided, they're high contrast with simple text, simple pictures and clear lines, aligned text. Notice the repetition of colors, black and white, even through the visuals. but maybe it was just me. Let's check the internet and see if other people are making great presentations. I find this. Now, this is the definition of an overwhelming slide. I don't know where to begin. I don't know where to end. All I know is I don't want to look at it. Well, to be honest, I forced myself to look at it. And I pulled out some information. I know that this is not the way to explain what cost, value, and profit analysis is, whatever it is. I know that a student's not going to want to look at this. And I sure as heck know that you're not going to pay attention to the professor. This is going to lose a student. So I took this information and I created this presentation, this slide, using the ideas of contrast, of aligned text with clear lines, repetition of colors from previous slides. I was able to take the information about cost, value, and profit, that first bullet, and bring it into a total of 11 words, providing a visual to further explain the concept of cost, value, and profit. Now, and then for the next part, okay, further explaining cost, value, and profit, just broken into 3 simple lines. I'm not a business teacher, but any business teacher can utilize these concepts of visual design to create a visual presentation that will aid and assist their learners in understanding the information, which is truly the main point of a presentation. Now, I looked around the internet some more. I'm like, well, let me look at some K-12 districts. Let me see what they put out on their websites as the greatest work. And I found this. Now, content-wise, this is amazing. It's great, but so many words, such bright colors. The yellow up top just does not work, and the whole sidebar really just distracts, and so does the background, and the bullets are probably the weirdest bullet size I've ever seen. Everything is distracting on this site, and then it looks like they put in a yin yang symbol as an afterthought, like, oh, we got to get a visual in there. Instead, what I did is, utilizing these concepts, I took that same symbol, the simplified low fidelity symbol of a yin yang sign, and I just put the text around it. Limited amount of text, okay, surrounding it, balanced. Now, I use balance in this, and I use contrast in this, obviously, but I use the idea of balance to further explain the concept of a yin and yang. Because a yin and yang, saying that the life force in a being must be balanced. Well, this slide needs to be balanced as well. Now, I just gave you a little bit of information, and if you want to learn more, sign up for the workshop. It'll be a great time. Thank you.